Hello, welcome back to another exciting episode of Easy Rollers D&D Vebaba campaign and the penultimate episode. And we should probably say Happy New Year as well because we haven't been on since we rolled into 2023. So Happy New Year to everybody who might be watching, who will be listening. Yes, the penultimate episode 42. As usual, I'm joined by Septonissus, by Corbs, by Gilded Branch,
Oh,
and Captain
good morning, dear.
Danface,
And Ludwig.
and Ludwig the Bear.
Ludwig.
Septonissus, Lily, is not feeling very well today, so she has what looks to be a sleeping owl over her webcam. But she is there. I can see her on my screen, so yes. Lady and gentlemen,
Magic of internet.
are we ready to jump in? Is there anything you want to talk about first, and if you'd like to ask, or should we go straight into the penultimate?
I presume we've got a recap because it's been a fair while.
I do have a recap. Yes, I do have a bit of a recap. Not a huge one. From the very beginning. I did actually do that not too long ago. Well, I say not too long ago in episode terms, but I had you roll. So I had them roll, the party roll, some D4 rolls for me off stream a couple of days back, whilst I was just rejigging a few things for this episode. And the reason was, I'll tell you what the reason was now. I came up with several versions of this episode, all of which I felt wasn't particularly fair because it was biased in one way or another towards one event or another event, based on where all the roads that have led to where you are now. So I decided to take the best bits of all of those different things that I created, make some tables, and you were rolling on those tables to see which events came to fruition. So that's what the point of your rolls was, and you're going to find out how that affected things. So let's do the recap for episode 41. And the first part of this line that I wrote here is, there's not too much to recap. So I'll go back from memory. So basically, you destroyed Grift and took his sword, and you were advised to go to the Hall of the Titans, where you might be able to get rid of the sword if you completed the trials and finally met up with the various gods at play, or demigods, in this sort of universe that we've created. And you completed several trials, but towards the end, it all went a bit tits up. It turned out that Narfiliac had made some sort of deal with Bumhadar, and sort of broken free of the shackles of the demiplane he was trapped in by Pelor, and of course hijacks the trials. Eventually, as you come to the last one, Kelimvor, the god of death, he had said to you, now's the time you need to go and deal with Narfiliac once and for all. He took the sword away from you, so that could be disposed of, or something happened to it, you don't know what. You were gifted all the various keys, so I believe Lily now has the key of Melora. Keenan, obviously, we know, has the key of Pelor. Logan has the key of Moradin, and Volta has the key of Kelimvor. And each key has its own unique ability. And so I'll go back into the written recap. The Devils Bane arrived into the demiplane when Narfiliac was being held by Pelor. Only to their surprise, he had fashioned this demiplane to look and feel much like his prison in the Nine Hells. After defeating his defences, the real battle began, and with some early successes, such as dispelling Lily's final wish spell, showing them all how deadly he could be in a melee and proving very tricky, as he could heal and teleport every time he was hit, we saw a frustrated Narfiliac, who had failed to individually pick the party off. He charged directly at Logan and Keenan. Eventually, with everyone doing what they could to wear him down, Logan got the final blow. They were transported to some other place, a field in a beautiful countryside, where they saw Narfiliac as he was. He apologised for all he had done, and that he would be no further help in the fight that was to come. as I say, they saw Nalfiliac as he was. What I mean by that was in his true form, not this repulsive, evil sort of god, but in his sort of more glorious form, angelic form. Now, I did say, I'm going to retcon one little thing here. I did say, and this is based on your roles, at the end of the last episode, you all wake up in comfy beds in the bustling city of Castle View. You do wake up in beds, but it's certainly not a bustling city that you wake up in. So, as you stir from your slumber, it's completely silent, save for a few songbirds singing and the gentle warm breeze ruffling the curtains of the room you find yourselves in. When you left, it was late autumn, early winter. It was cold, but now the sun is beating in through the open window, and it's warm. How, you might wonder to yourselves. Another thing that's quite apparent is the lingering smell of smoke, acrid, foul. What do you all do?
Are we all in the same room? Sorry.
You are all in the same room.
The door. Okay.
First of all, I'm going to check that nothing crucial is on fire.
If you sort of pop out of bed and look through a window, you'll see from the window that at least this portion of the city, it is Castle View, is totally destroyed. There are jagged remains of buildings that look like broken teeth almost. There's smoke still rising, scorch marks on what remains of walls, bodies rotting in the street, and debris everywhere.
And any idea of what's happened? I'm just checking. I've got all my limbs.
Yeah, you've got all your limbs. If you're sort of feeling about the place, Logan, you have a note on your bed, and it just said, very scruffily written, in haste. You don't know me, but this is important. The city's been attacked. Harriet is locked up in the dungeon. Find her. And that's all it says. And it's just, someone's literally sprawled this down as fast as possible and just dumped it and gone. Pardon me.
How could we sleep through this?
Guys, Harriet's in the dungeon. Get to the dungeon now.
Just check that we've got everything. So I'm just checking that I have all of my, my bags and everything because
all your gear. There's foot lockers at the end of the bed, and your gear's quite conveniently in there. Anything that you had on you, it's there.
Does anybody remember what was the last thing before we woke up here, guys?
What was the last thing?
The last thing you would remember is that sort of not dream state, but meeting with Narfiliacus in his more angelic form, in that sort of that field, that idyllic looking field. Imagine sort of like that scene from Gladiator at the end where he's sort of walking through the field to his family, that sort of setting.
Okay.
That's the last you remember. And then you wake up here.
Maybe let's go out and see what is happening.
Yeah, I mean, the door is locked, but not from your side. It's sort of like, it's almost like there's a beam barring it on the other side or something. You can sort of rattle the door and it's boom, boom, boom against something. Yeah.
Should we
Is
try and
the
break
beam
it?
on our side of things?
No, you've been locked in this room, almost like maybe someone's done it for your safety.
I assume we've got all our attire and weapons and what have you. We just
Yeah, as I said, there's at the end of your bed, there's a footlocker of all your stuff in it.
I'm with you.
I will.
I will
Getting
let
out
you
of
know, you would know, having spent some time in Castleview and such, you would know that the city's dungeon, the jail, if you want to call it that, it's underneath the barracks, and the barracks is on the southern gate, sort of like the main entrance into the city, basically.
I guess they're not in there because we were able to look out of the window. It kind of makes it not below ground. So, are there any dead bodies in the street outside? Can we see?
Yeah, the bodies, the streets are littered with bodies. A battle's taken place.
Are there?
Excellent. Then I shall cast that spell that lets me talk to the dead people and raise one of them up so I can find out what the heck went on.
What I'll say to you as well is, looking out of the window, it is ground level, so you can climb out. It's big enough that you could climb out into the street if that's what you guys wanted to do, or if you want to just do this from the room for now.
Yeah, I'm just doing it from the room. I'm not climbing out of any windows into a death scene until I find out what's going on.
So in the street, what you can see is...
Hey, small boy, have I missed Christmas Day?
Well, I'll give you the scene, because then you can pick who you would like to question. You see from the window, there are sort of the city's guards lying there. There are citizens lying there. There's also Dragonborn lying there. And they have that kind of like Klaxor, that sort of big Mass Effect type armor that the Krogan type thing wears, whatever it is. And it's all sort of like quite golden in color, and they have the emblem of the golden dragon on there. So that gives you an idea who you might want to question of what's happened.
Which one do you think, guys? I can pick on any of them, but I can only do one at a time.
We think that the Dragonborn would
Someone of
probably
importance.
know the most, but I don't know how cooperative they'd be.
Well, we can
There is
always
that.
try.
Give them a try, I guess. It's
See
something
if you
I
can find out the way to the dungeon, and he shows the note to Walter as well. Obviously, he shows it to all of them.
You would know which way the dungeon is, because you know the city pretty well by this point.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, let's pick on a random Dragonborn corpse for now and raise him up in the words of the song.
Yeah. So you guys see, I think I've described this before, you sort of see Walter's eyes go milky as he disappears into this sort of ethereal type plane, I suppose, that coincides alongside the material plane. To Walter, he's there, but it's almost like a misty, cloudy, dark, lack of colour sort of place. And you pick on this particular Dragonborn, and he's sort of looking down at his body and the others around, and he sees you there, and he'll turn around and he'll sort of say something in Draconic. Do you speak Draconic?
Question. No.
That's fine. He sort of awaits your response, but gathers that you can't understand him.
Can't understand. Do you know anywhere I could buy a cheap egg sandwich and a pint of lager?
He sort of responds to you again, but in common this time. What is this? Where am I? How am I here again?
I was hoping you might be able to shed some light on that matter for me. What are you doing here? Why are you dead?
Well, we came to try and warn your people. The Empire were coming. We were hoping they might not be able to track us, but they did. And they brought all the fury they could bring. They hit here first.
Not Hyacinth.
I do not know a hyacinth.
Oh. Ooh.
He did not say Hyacinth.
Tyson.
Tyson?
Oh.
All the fury.
I thought you said
All the
hyacinth.
fury.
I thought, what are you talking about,
It was
hyacinth?
like that went a very different direction.
It went a little bit strange. Hyacinth bouquet. coming down
Apologies, I
from
thought
the
you said
Empire.
hyacinth. I was like, why are you talking about hyacinths?
Oh dear, oh dear.
No, that's
Yeah,
no.
Tyson Fury.
So
yes.
yeah, so they brought some fury Empire. So is the Empire still here? Or you might not know. You
I
might.
don't know. I
You might
died
have
in
been
the initial.
disemboweled before.
I died in the battle here. But if the word genocide
Were
means
there many
anything
of
to
them?
you, many of them, or many, you say many of them.
Yes. I know there's not many of me. I'm an individual.
There were many. Countless. If the word genocide means anything to you, that's what happened here.
I see. I don't know whether this is the time to raise it, but I'm not getting any picture or anything on this stream. It's just constantly turning. Double check that. That seems to have
I can
frozen
see
on the
it
streaming.
fine.
You can see it.
Yeah,
It's working
I can
fine.
see
Then
fine.
it's excellent. Then I won't worry about it. Excellent. Yeah. So the empire, blah blah blah, dead. Blah. Many of them genocide. Genocide against the residents of Castleview.
They killed everyone in their wake. We tried to defend. Your guards tried to defend. But it was too much.
I mean, we were shepherding quite a lot of the army here, weren't we? That's a bit of a blow.
I'm afraid
Okay.
your world is primitive compared to the weaponry they are able to bring, and ours were not enough.
You needed some small furry animals and some rocks tied to string, obviously. Anything else you can tell us that might be useful?
What do you want to know?
I don't know. You will know the Empire's still here. Is there anything else that you think that might be useful to us before I let you go back to sleep?
If you can find the Emperor, I believe he has come here. He had an interest in your world for some reason. He might still be here somewhere, but if you can find him, maybe you can bring an end to all of this.
Excellent. Now 3, 2, 1, you're back in dead. Right, I will relay that to the group and the Dragonborn slip back into the world of death. But yeah, it looks like the Empire came and wiped everybody out. Melnoris looks like he's been a naughty boy again.
Why has Walther now got this accent?
Hmm?
Why has Walther now got this accent?
He always had a German accent. What are you on about?
I don't remember it being quite as camp and Justin, but okay.
Justin, my very own Justin. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
It's been a while since I've had to do Walter's accent, so I've sort of lost the track of it. Sorry about that.
It's been a while for all of us.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, what do you want to do about that? Should we go and kick the Emperor in the Nagus, or?
We do need to kick the Emperor in the Nadgers, but we also need to pull Harriet out of this jail, and she may know more.
Should we?
Okay, let's go and do that then.
Try and see if we've got any alloys left.
Yeah.
Because there were a few, but, you know.
Well, some of the army might have been camping outside the city, but, you know, they're the same as us. They got pointy sticks.
True.
You had
We have
we-
a ghost ship on our side at some point.
You had, yeah, well, just a reminder, you had, the dwarves were mostly outside with the human forces.
Why are you saying had?
What? You
Do
had,
we have or had?
you had dwarves and men outside, but you also had dwarves that were stationed in the city because they were helping the rebuild. The swamp elves were in the city. I'm saying past tense because you don't know at the moment, do you? I'm not going to say they are there because, I mean, you can see the ruin. So that was the situation of the forces you had here. Maybe they're still there, but you have to uncover that.
Okay.
Maybe
So-
by finding Harriet, maybe she can explain to us what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start from there and then take it from there and see what will be our next thing.
Should we go out the window
Very well.
or set Logan on the door.
Well, if we could go out the window easy enough, why break the door? We've got a little safe haven to come back to if we need to, if we leave the door shut.
True.
But I'm entirely up to you. If you
window.
wish to break it, Keenan, you can do.
I can't break it. I'm fragile.
I could get my special little helper to help out as well, you know. Zinni could come and play. I'm sure he'd like to break down doors.
My little helper, my little help.
Well, it's up to you whichever way you want to go.
Pony. I vote for the window.
Okay.
Oi.
I think it's the sensible option.
Then let us go and uncover Hyatt.
We'd go through the wall.
Well, you climb out of the window, and now what's also now apparent to you is the building you are in is intact, completely intact. When you get outside, you see that it appears destroyed, to blend in almost with its surroundings.
Something not quite right going on here. Come on.
Yeah.
Someone put us in there. I don't remember.
Well, feel free to make checks
What
if
happened?
you want to. I mean, you got checks
I
there.
mean,
Lily,
have a look
could
around,
probably
see if I can see like a projector or something. Or any signs of a spell.
give me.
Oh, can I do detect magic?
Yeah, you can do detect magic, and you can do an investigation check, Keenan.
Ooh, +2. Look at that. Level 18, boys.
19?
6.
6. Okay. You
Let me try.
begin looking around, and you can't see anything at all, really.
I'm blind!
It's pretty... No, you have vision. It's whatever it is, it's baffling you. I'm really sorry.
Time Lord technology.
No, we can see all these sort of dead bodies around. Can we see any live people or anyone that's slightly moving or groaning, anything?
2 seconds. What was your roll, Lily?
So I don't think I can roll. I roll. So it says for the duration you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you.
Yep.
If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its cool, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Yeah, so what you see is that building does have a magical aura. It's warded. It's protected by a magical ward. I can't think of the name of the school of magic now. It's warded to basically it looks like the rest of its surroundings, but you know it's not.
Does it have? Can I see any illusion magic?
That's exactly what it is. Illusionary magic to make it look, like I said, broken and destroyed like the rest of its surroundings.
Okay. So
do you want to give me an investigation roll as well?
Yeah. Let me find my investigation.
What?
11.
I tell you what, I will give you some information because you've got the heads up on the fact you know it's under some sort of illusionary magic. With the knowledge of this ward and doing some investigation, you do find a mark on the wall which you would recognise as a mark of the black of the oh bloody hell! What was the name of the group that Harriet was part of? Not the Black Hand.
Glory holes.
Black Sabbath.
Oh god, her organisation. Not the Black Hand.
yeah.
It was. Oh, hang on, I've got to write it down here.
It was something ominous.
The Shadows.
No.
It was. I've got it written down.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. It was Hank Marvin's gang.
Because we had a joke about the Rasmus, me and you, don't forget.
It's you notice it's like a Shadows safe house.
I see. Okay. Anything else in the area?
No, not with an 11. I'll give you that because you had your knowledge of the ward.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So,
Now Logan was looking for living people, weren't you?
Anyone who's like still alive but either injured or living or just kind of hiding.
Well, why don't you give me an investigation or perception? Actually, would probably be better.
Yeah, we'll do a perception. Do 28.
In this immediate area, no. But I will let you keep that number. And are you guys sort of going to start moving towards where you know this
I
dungeon
don't think
to
it'd
be?
be unreasonable to sort of on the way, if we notice someone who's alive or hiding, we would speak to them.
You don't
I'm
notice
going
anything
to-
here, but
I am going to summon Bumpsy and send him flying up in the air as an advanced scout. So if you lot could lead me through the streets without making me fall over too many things, I will look through the eyes of Bumpsy from above and guide us.
Walter, hold on to this. He'll...
Okay.
Yep.
So initially, Bumpsy will notice a couple of things when you go sending Bumpsy up. There are various Imperial patrols that you can see in like a certain radius of you. You see those white-clad. Some of them are in black, but that's sort of almost stormtroopery kind of like armor, marching around. And you also see these spherical balls floating in the air, and they seem to be like hovering around the streets. But the whole place,
To alarm anyone, but we seem to have wandered onto the set of The Prisoner from 1967.
the whole place is ruined. There's smoke rising everywhere. There's you can see the Parliament building's gone, but the cathedral in the sort of northern sort of area of the city is still standing.
I will relay the information about the patrols and such and guide our party the best we can to avoid them initially, I guess. Do we wish to avoid the patrols or do we wish to beat on them mightily?
Oh, I don't know how I would defeat a ball of light.
It's not a ball of light. It's like a metallic sphere.
I don't know how I would beat its metallic sphere.
Is a metallic cube? I don't know. Yeah, let's avoid them then. Ooh.
oh dear.
I was gonna have you all rolling. No, let's do it. Let's roll initiative. Not because you're in combat. I just want to track movement and stuff. It would be easier.
Oh, that was nearly a 20. 19.
Logan is a 19.
21.
Keenan,
You son of a
21.
6.
Lily is a 6.
And Ruth.
Lily is a 10.
12 for Wolfer. Right. So what I'm gonna do is you're gonna move. I was gonna make a map up for this, but Incarnate is still being a pain in the ass, so I haven't done it. So I'm gonna sort of theatre of the mind it. But you basically, I sort of divided had it so it was going to be the road to the dungeon was hexes, and it took 2 turns to get through each hex. So per hex, you need to roll. So somebody give me, to start things off, a D4, please.
Any takers?
Anyone at all.
Ben is going for it.
A number 3.
It's a bad roll. We're ignoring it, and someone else will do it.
So you start making your way through these ruins. Obviously, there's rubble everywhere. There's bodies and such. What you can see is, though, these bodies, as you're making your way, they've all been moved to the side of the street, but they've not been like just like hapdash, just like chucked to the side. They have been moved with a certain level of respect. So they've been sort of placed not one on top of the other, but sort of next to each other. Maybe they've got their arms crossed across their chest or something like that. And none of them have like eyes open up, and they've obviously had their eyes closed for them. But they're not just, they're not bodies of just the locals. There's dwarves here, some of the dwarves. There are swamp elves, dragonborn. As we've already described, the dragonborn are wearing the armor of the Order of the Golden Dragon. And as you sort of proceed down the road in the direction you know you need to go to, you start to where is it? Where did I write it down? 1 or 3? I'm sure I'll write that down. Oh no. Okay.
Just there.
How are you sort of moving? Have you got a marching order? Are you trying to go sneakily? Are you just walking?
I'm in quite close proximity to Logan because he's guiding me, but Bumps is keeping an eye on what I've got a hold of.
I'm guiding him. He's holding on to my stuff. Insert blank here.
I kind of walk beside the rest of the group. You know,
So
like
you're kind of in a bunch, really.
yes, not. But just to let you know, detect magic. It lasts for 10 minutes. So while we're walking for 10 minutes, if there
Yeah.
is any other spell in the area, just let me know. Also, I didn't manage, guys. There is this building is it has some kind of illusionary spell. I don't know if Boulder you can dispel it to see what exactly it is. So I just relate all
Building
the
that we just came
information.
out of.
Yes, I just relate the information.
Yeah, I
to
don't
what
think
I
we need to
found.
dispel it. Let's leave it as it is, shall we?
Okay.
We
Yeah.
need to go back to it. Are
Come back
there
to it later
still
if we have to?
rooftops of any sort, or are the buildings completely knackered?
Well, 1 or 2 buildings do have roofs on them. Like maybe like half the building's been broken away, and there's like a bit of a roof or something like that.
Where possible, I'd like to keep the high ground of building rooftops.
It's over, Malnorris. I have the higher ground.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hop between bits of building and stuff like that, you can certainly do that. I don't know who's got the highest passive perception out of all of you.
Okay.
20.
I've got 18.
You got 20.
Ooh, everything's slowing down. Oh dear.
Yes, we are.
We are back
Yes,
live.
we are.
Hello, anybody? I think we probably lost any viewers that we did have, but yeah, internet issues. I don't know what happened there. I think it was Discord just threw a wobbly. You all froze, and then I lost Discord entirely. So yeah.
It's all right.
Right, where did we get to? Keenan's jumping around on the rooftops, Assassin's Creed style.
Woohoo!
Or Mario style, apparently. Bumpsy's in the air. We were asking for passive perceptions. Somebody had a 20. Anyone beat a 20?
Nope.
Cool. Okay, in that case, the one with 20, you begin to hear a whistling sound. Not. How can I describe it?
I'll be very angry if you whistle into your mic. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
What's weird is my children watched that in bed today.
No, it's like a sound of like some sort of weird like engine or motor just whistling away, almost like a supercharger or a turbo whistling, something like that. How do you want to react to that? You've got 1 round to react.
Guys, do anyone hear that? Sounds like there might be a motor or an engine nearby. Possibly with a turbocharger or a dump valve or similar.
Should we hide and see what's coming?
What in
Can we
the
tell
name
if
of
it's coming sort of
Malnaris is a
this way
motor?
or towards us or anything?
Eh?
In the time
Sorry?
we've got?
It is definitely coming in your
Every time.
direction.
Let's hide. Hide, guys.
Yes,
Hide.
yes.
Stealth
I'm going
checks.
to
Group
dive
stealth.
Find the nearest
Shadowy.
chimney.
I don't need a stealth check. I'm going to dive into a patch of shadow created
Ooh,
by
good.
a burning
Oh,
building
I don't.
and
Me
become one with
neither.
shadows.
Yep, that's fine.
I mean, neither because I have zoop, the ring of invisibility.
Cool.
Ooh,
You go
zoop.
invisible.
21 for stealthy stealth.
Yeah, Keenan.
Come on, Dan, don't let me down.
I also got 21.
You also have a
Yes.
21. Sweet. Cool. Okay. As you're hiding from around a corner, one of these metal spheres, sort of goes along the street past you. It doesn't notice you.
Does it remind us from where we were in the planet that it comes from there? From, it was the rebellion and the.
You haven't seen one of these before.
We haven't. Okay.
No. This is entirely new to you.
Okay.
I'm going to send a little mental message to Bumpsy saying, "You're supposed to be keeping an eye out, you stupid pigeon."
Can it actually give you mental feedback?
I'm seeing through its
Oh, you see through his eyes. Ah, okay.
That's why I had thingy jigs. Logan leading me.
Okay. Well, in that case, if you've got Bumpsy up, you could, in that case, we'll avoid all patrols and all drones then.
That's why I put him up in the air.
Yeah. No, I didn't think about that at all. Yeah, that's fine. You avoid all potential hazards. Logan, with your previous role, you do, as you're passing down one alley, come across a doorway with a marking on it. That is the marking of the shadows. If you wanted, if you spent a little bit of time with it, I won't make you roll for it, because I say your roll was pretty good and you were specifically looking for survivors. And with Lily's detect magic, the two of you working in tandem, it's not an obvious symbol, but it does have like a magical aura to it, so that it can be detected but not necessarily seen readily by passing patrols.
I'm with you.
If you sort of try and investigate, open the door,
I think we try and
inside
go in. Yeah.
there are some sort of almost like post-apocalyptic looking people huddled in like a cellar in this building. They've got some supplies in there, not an awful lot. There's a couple of men, a couple of women,
Excuse me.
children, that sort of thing.
You're right then.
Yeah, it's just a really big burp. I didn't know if it picked it up on the mic or not.
I didn't hear it.
No, I didn't.
I saw his cover-up face, but that's it. Is
As you guys enter into the cellar, these people would sort of huddle against the back wall, and maybe a grizzled older gentleman might sort of step forward, tatty clothes, and I'm trying to get the accent right for the people of Castleview now. Who are you? What you doing? How did you find us?
those use Brummies.
They're Brummies,
Where
weren't
did
they?
Crash come from?
I forgot about that. The symbol on the door. Which one of you put that there?
We didn't. We found it, but we know it's from Lady Gloryweaver. Told many people about it before she was captured.
When was she captured? How long ago?
Oh, about 6 months ago.
Captured 6 months ago.
He's gonna look around at the others and be like,
That's a horrendously
WTF, mate.
big sleep.
How much time has passed since the battle with Grift?
Oh God, I'm losing the accent again. I don't know. I don't know much about this grift.
Well, the big battle that happened. All the armies came together and fought the undead, the demons.
All the armies didn't come together for that. You were on a little soiree with a few men and
Soiree.
some guards and dignitaries, if you remember.
But did they not clash with the main force of them?
No, you only had a small sort of force
okay.
with you as protection, just in case you needed it.
Okay, so how long has passed since this place was invaded and the real estate value went down?
About 6 months ago. We've been holding up down here. Been running between buildings and taking supplies, hoping that one day that this lot's going to clear off and we can go back to living.
6 months ago, and it still smells burned. Damn it, that's a lot, isn't it?
Harriet didn't last long running around then, did she? Got captured almost instantly. Instantly.
She was. They brought slaves in from that elven place. What's it called? Ilantalos. They brought the slaves from there, and she tried to free them. Kiddies and that sort of thing.
Does
There's
sound like Harriet.
Milantalos here in the city.
Yeah, I think they took a load of them up to the processing area where they process them to fold you into the empire, apparently. But a lot of
And
them
this
ended up
would
in the
be-
dungeons as well. If they tried to rebel, they got put in the dungeons.
So this processing area would be
Somewhere in the north of the city.
okay. And were many of the people taken there?
A few were taken there, but a lot of people tried to fight back, and if they fought back, then they were killed. Or I know accent slipping. I can see Dan's face. They were either thrown in the dungeon or they were just executed.
Right, so let's go rescue Harriet. She can give us a clue as to where my family are. If the slaves will come from Atlantis, we rescue them, and then I vote for a retirement to Jamaica or somewhere.
I don't know where Jamaica is. I've never
Well,
heard of it. I spent
That's
most
all
of my
right,
time in
Viv,
this
I'm
city.
inviting you.
Oh,
Well, we don't know for sure that the rest of the place, the land, isn't in the same state as this. For all we know, Jamaica could be equally burnt.
All this talk, you're Jamaican me crazy.
Oh,
I don't suppose you got any food.
Food, you say?
We're running out.
My rations are just mouldy after 6 months. Being in a
We've
coma.
also just been
It's all
walking
trail
past
mix, Dan.
6-month-old
It's trail mix.
cadavers on the
It's all
streets.
dry.
I think we should go and find Harriet.
What have I got ration-wise?
It's probably a good move, but she's likely under guard, right? If she's been captured. Might have to fight her way in.
I don't know. I mean, they seem a bit lapsed, some of these guards. It's almost like they've been here so long now, they just don't seem to care much. Like there are other survivors in the city, but they're not really actively looking for them anymore.
How many survivors are there here in this room?
Oh, I don't know, like a dozen.
And
Do
I'll
you
give
still-
them 3 of my ration packs.
And they're all like really grateful for it and hugging you and that sort of thing. Especially the
We only
kids.
have 2.
But I have to spare, I'm afraid. I must keep a couple.
It's all right. We're very grateful. Thank you very much.
Do you still put up a fight? Are you like an active rebellion, or are you just sort of looking to survive?
We're just trying to survive, but if enough people stood up, then we'd give it a go. But we got no weapons, and of course, they've already proven to us that they can kick our asses whenever they want.
Yeah. Yeah. It does seem like Harriet's the best option.
Is there anything you can tell us about what you've seen in the city while you've been hiding out?
Not really. Just lots of those flying bulls seem to be patrolling about, and those imperial blokes. Like I said, ships in the beginning. Ships were coming and going. I don't think there's really anybody left in the holding area for being inducted in, because right at the beginning, after the invasion, they sent these ships down. They were taking people away. Whoever's left's probably either like us in hiding or in the dungeon, really, if they're still alive.
Suppose you have any idea on numbers of these balls? Any ball numbers? Or
There's at least 2 of them.
of use like that? At least that's incredibly helpful. I don't know
You're
where
gonna-
this actually come from.
You're gonna get the sack in a minute.
Hey,
Oh dear. Anyway, what do you want to do?
Is there a way towards the dungeons that might be less busy than others?
You just got to take it easy. I couldn't say. We don't really have an idea of where their patrols go. To be honest, Bumpsy is probably your best bet. Just keep an eye in the sky. Like I say, I'm quite happy to give you a free pass to get there with Bumpsy, to be honest, because as you've already pointed
Not
out.
got any tunnels or back alleys.
Well, there's plenty of
maybe
back
the
alleys, but no tunnels.
Maybe we go with Bumpsy and the Eye in the Sky. You will have to lead me though, so I can keep an eye out.
Okay.
We would have to see through Bumpsy's eyes for a while.
Cool. Okay. Well, if you eventually leave these people and crack on, like I said, I won't roll on the potential encounters because you can avoid all of those with Bumpsy's Eye in the Sky. But eventually, as the day sort of draws on, you approach the area that you know where the south gate is and the barracks to be. And what are you doing? Are you sort of like taking cover to survey the scene? Obviously, Bumpsy can give you a heads up, or are you going to march straight in there? Bumpsy would give you the heads up that there is 4 Imperial troopers at the barracks, and you'd have to go into the barracks to get down to the dungeon area. They are in black armor. They're not wearing any helmets though. Their helmets are sort of like they're sort of casually sat there eating, drinking, sat on barrels, just nattering away. Guns are sort of down. Those energy weapons are down, and yeah, like I said, their helmets are just sat there next to their guns. They're just casual at the moment. They're not worried about anyone or anything in particular.
Should we try to knock him out quietly?
You think we can get all 4 roughly the same time? We don't want the whole garrison at us at once.
Let's see.
Possibly. Are there any buildings sort of near where they are that I could jump off of potentially?
Yeah, so where the gatehouse is, where the barracks is, it's you got the buildings and the streets all converge on this one area. You got the main street which comes down the centre to the gate, but it's like an open plaza there to the gate, and then the barracks is sort of like to the, as you look at it, to the left of the gate. Quite a big building. So you do have a large open area, about 50 feet from where the buildings are and where they begin to that gatehouse. But there would be buildings you could be on the roof of before you reach that open area.
Okay.
I said there would have been a map, but I couldn't get the map thing to work. So
I don't particularly know. If we could get in close, we could probably knock him out, but it's difficult.
So,
Lily, you've got that handy ring.
yeah, so
I should also mention that you notice that 2 of them are human, and the other 2 are fire ganassi. And the fire ganassi have these it's like gently flickering, flaming hair.
and did you say they're guarding the front?
Whether they're guarding or not, I don't really know. They're just sort of hanging around it. It's the sort of impression that you get.
Can I sneak like invisible to see if I can hear what they're saying, or just to get an idea?
Yeah, so if you give me a stealth check just to get up closer, because you might be invisible, but you can still make footfall.
Can you imagine if I rolled 1?
Did you roll a 1?
No, so 16.
16, yeah. Let me just sort of check for their perception. Whoops. Yeah, you sort of sneak in closer, maybe getting to where some of these barrels and crates are outside the barracks, maybe just sort of hang around those close by. And they're just sort of talking about who's on patrol tonight, where they're going, who's, I'm taking the east side and they're going over to the north end of the city or something like that.
So I'm taking a note.
Yeah, they're just casually
the
talking
time.
about who's on patrol, really. Have they seen anything out of the ordinary? No. who's on shift to go down and feed any prisoners, that sort of thing. But it just seems from their conversation here at this posting, there is only the 4 of them. There isn't anybody else. It's just these 4. They talk a lot about being bored, how they're fed up with being stuck here. They sort of talk about, and the way they're sort of talking, it's almost like you get the impression that they're the general dog's bodies of the force, who've just almost been like forgotten in this posting.
I see.
They know that they know there's people left in the city. That you kind of get that from how they're talking. They know there's people in the city still. They don't know where they are, and they just can't be bothered to follow the orders to go and find them.
Okay, I see.
Do they have their guns on them?
The guns, it's like, imagine any old war film where they're just sort of sat around having their tea. The guns are like just propped up against the wall or a barrel or something like that.
Might be the key.
Okay, so I go back to the group and say what I heard. So guys, I think it's just the 4 of them, and they were talking about their shifts and where they're going to patrols and how tired they are about just staying behind. So I think it's just the 4 of them. So I wonder if we can just capture them somehow and see what information we can take from them.
Capture or kill them, it doesn't really matter because I will raise them from the pits of hell to answer our questions if we have to do.
If they've got Harriet, they won't be alive long, whether they're captured or not.
I think we should use them to learn information. Oh, I guess we don't need them alive to get information, do we?
This is very true. We don't. But, if we can try and keep some of them alive, then it's
Yeah.
fine. But I'm just saying, if I should accidentally lose my temper a little bit, then it's fine.
That's fine,
I
okay.
will bring them back. Don't worry. Don't shout at us.
Should we...
Logan
house
gets his
them?
bow and arrows sort of ready.
I can... Do you want me to... I was thinking, do you want me to go as I am invisible and just maybe throw some rocks and do some noises in different places so they can kind of spread out and then we can
I think
try
we
and
want them all
grapple them?
together so we can hit them all in one place, don't we? I could get Bumsy to land on the other side of them so they turn their backs to us and then we hit them in the back of the heads.
We can
Yeah.
do that.
This is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
is that
since
okay?
you're invisible, Lily, you could either disable or steal their weapons to stop them using them against us.
So I can... Yes, I will continue being invisible. But do they have their weapons on them? Because it will be difficult to...
No,
They're
they're
like
they're
wrestled
nearby.
against
They're within like reaching distance to grab if they needed to, but they're sort of just
Okay.
propped up on the barrels, whatever, next to them.
So I kind of try to steal
have-
the weapons.
I have a question.
I'm
You
gonna
know how
go on.
You know how when Lily puts the ring on, obviously it turns her invisible and it includes her clothes and such that she's carrying.
Mhm.
If she picks something up, is that thing visible and floating, or does it become invisible with her?
I'm thinking the same thing because I was going to say you're going to have a floating weapon, basically.
So
I
I
was-
think...
It's
You
the
have the
things that
time
you.
of casting, I think.
It's at the time of casting, yeah. So you would have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think...
So
I think
I want you very
something-
high DC to make a sleight of hand check.
Oh dear.
And what about if Bumps is being a slight distraction as well? Can we get a
Yeah, I'm
slight
going to
help?
send Bumsy in for
If Bumpsy's being a distraction, and then you can have advantage on the sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Bump.
18.
So, what's Bumpsy doing as a distraction?
sort of landed on a little bit of rock on the other side of us from them.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're turning that away. And he's going, caca, caca.
And they sort of like turn and they're looking at this bird. And Lily, you start to see these weapons raise up, like maybe like she's tucking them under an arm or something. So they start like gathering, and then they start moving towards you. And Bumpsy is making an adequate enough distraction that they don't notice.
And while Lily is moving and you see this weapon, it's literally on the rhythm of Pink Panther. Ta-dum, ta-dum. It's like that.
Very good.
Then I think it's probably about time for you to hit them, guys. What do you think?
Kane and I've got
Yes.
an idea to get you close.
With the
Oh.
rings up?
What's that?
And it might throw them off. If I just drag you up there roughly kind of things like, I found one.
I just got them to turn the other way. You
Yes, but we could get really close to them. And then you two are there. And they have no weapons.
It's fine. I don't need to be close. I'm not going close anyway, so it's up to you.
So you're going to
I
try
can
and
run from
sneak
here
up
to
on them.
there as quick as hell anyway.
How far are they? Sorry.
About 50
50
feet.
Oh,
Also-
let's just dash there.
Yeah, I don't even need to dash.
Also,
A light jog.
also it's only the 4 of them. So if you go as somebody who found somebody, they will understand that it's not one of theirs.
I'd say we rush them.
While you're rushing in, I'm going to hit one of them in the back of the head with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well,
don't
well-
forget we were in initiative order for the encounters. This is an encounter.
Yeah.
Let me
I'm
just.
just saying, while they're doing all their movement time, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Stealth running. I want to get as
So-
close as I can before they know I'm there.
Troop 1.
I like the anime running where you run with both hands out behind your back.
Naruto style, I think it's called. Isn't it? 17. And the final one goes there. Okay, Keenan, you are up first. Then it's Logan, and then you're gonna get these troops reacting. Then Volta, another troop, Lily, then another troop.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm folded up. Alright. I want to run up to them.
Keenan's response to waiting for a while before setting in for the run. Oh, no.
I'm folded up. Yeah, I'll run at them.
You're gonna
Trying
do
to
the
keep it
castle.
quiet.
That's fine. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Whilst this is about to happen, I'm gonna mute my microphone. So you just tell me what's going on. I'll give you a thumbs up or thumbs down because my lovely wife is about to put the kettle on for a hot water bottle. So
Hot water bottle.
while I'm waiting for her to do
assuming
that,
we've had a long rest.
We could do our quick 5 minutes now.
we could do a
That's
quick
about
5
six.
minutes. All right, hang
'Cause
on.
I'm
I said
midway
it's some
through eating.
water
It was about
too.
6
Okay.
months done.
All right.
Yeah, I need more
Don't
sugar
put it
in
on
my
yet.
tea.
Right. I'll let's go to the break screen and then we'll come back and we'll start this combat off. Okay?
Hey.
Okay. Be right back.
I hope we've had a long rest.
It's as cold as
Willing
ice.
to sacrifice.
My
My
love.
love.
I'm getting loads of song references in tonight.
That's your musical intro to part 2. Hello and welcome back to part 2. No, but hang on. Welcome back is part 2. Not welcome back to part 2 because we haven't had part 2 yet. Now we're having part 2.
Welcome back.
You
to
totally
part-
confuse everybody.
These are the sort of thoughts that go on in my mind on a daily basis. Okay. Right, so just to recap, you made your way through the city quite successfully, bypassing all of my potential potholes because Bumpsy's guiding you from afar. You've located the barracks and the dungeon underneath it. I mean, you knew where that was anyway. And you've devised a plan where Lily has put on a ring of invisibility, snuck in, Bumpsy's distracted the guards, you've stolen their weapons, and you're now, Logan and Keenan, launching a full frontal at them.
Full frontal nudity.
I think Lily's a bit shocked.
So just a reminder of the order of initiative. We rolled that earlier on because, as I said, we were supposed to be moving through hexes with encounters along the way, but they bypassed that. So keeping the same order, Keenan, you're up first. Logan, 2 troopers, Wolfer, another trooper, Lily, and then another trooper. So Keenan, I believe you were charging across this 50-foot plaza between the buildings and the gatehouse and barracks.
Yes. I'll do that.
And hello, Ben Kerno.
Hello. First
Hello,
time
Ben.
Yes, okay. I will charge across and hopefully get there and they're still unsuspecting. And I would like to use my 2 attacks plus flurry of blows for a total of 4 punches,
Yep.
1 each.
They definitely would know you were coming because once you start charging across there, you're going to hear your footfall as you start
I don't
charging.
know. Can I make a stealth check to see whether I can?
If you want to move
stealth run?
quietly, yeah, you can make a stealth check.
Okay. My stealth run. Oh, 13.
What's their perception? I mean, you beat their passive perception, so yeah. I mean, you can get over there quietly if you want to.
Okay. And I'll just try to like fist and elbow and knee, and
Cool.
just a hit each. Hopefully, a hit each.
So you think you hit each?
It's the first one. 19 to hit.
Yes, I'll tell you now. The AC you're looking for is 16.
Okay. Second one is 28. Third one. Well, that might miss. 15, so I missed one of them. Ah, I missed 2 of them. So I hit 2. So the 2 that I do hit, I do 6 damage on one and 11 damage on the other.
Okay.
But I'll spend a key point
You said, but
then.
So what was it? It was 11 and 6, wasn't it? You said.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Where is it?
11, puts that down to-
Come back to me. Flurry. Did that. Where is it?
I don't know. Where is it? I
It's
can't
been too long since I used this. Healing hands. Stunning strike. There it is. So can they each make a con save, please?
Yes, they can. Constitutional saving throw is an 8, an 18, a 16, and
Just the
a
2 that
5.
hit. Just the 2.
Oh,
that
just
hit,
2.
which
Okay. Well, I'll roll just 2 then. Sorry. An 18 and a 4.
Okay. One is stunned. The other is not.
I will stun one of them.
So he can't do nout until my next turn.
That's fine. Keenan, if that's you, Logan's up
Cheers.
next.
all right. Hobbs just gets mauled midstream.
He was very calm.
Sorry. Go on. The dog just tried to run at Cobbs.
It's your go, I think.
Logan.
That's what I mean. I missed the last. Literally, I missed the last line that you said. Okay, so I need to dash because can't go far enough.
They definitely know you're there now.
In that case, I don't need to dash. I'm gonna shoot him with a bow and arrow ski.
Arowski.
21.
21 hits.
Right, so
It's little bow and arrow.
he gets double arrow. So 21 and a 20 both hit.
21,
Not going to do loads of damage. 6 and an 11.
Cool. I'll apportion that to the ones which haven't been hit just yet.
Yep. Did you say what was the AC? Did you say it was 15?
16.
16. Okay, so the next one misses. Then one. Then 2 more hits. Okay, so 2 missed. So then another 11 and another 10.
Another 11 and another 10.
One of them, which one of those arrows hits, I'll let you choose where they hit because you've kind of got the positioning in your head.
Mm-hmm.
One of them needs to make a, I think it's strength. Give me 10 seconds. It is a, strength saving throw, please.
That is only a 5.
Then that one is restrained with, like, flaming handcuffs.
Okie dokie, I'm going to put that cuffed.
So we've got one cuffed, and then to end his turn, he's just going to claws about half the distance, something like that.
Okay, that's fine. So, what have we got there? That's trooper number 1. Trooper number 1. In fact, no, it's trooper number 3 that's going first. So, he is the restrained, the cuffed one. Does he make a saving throw on his turn, or is that it?
He can do it at the beginning of each of his its turns, yeah.
So it's a strength save each time.
Yes.
That's...
It is a 20.
Fuck. Well, no, he doesn't make it.
Just for like sake of ongoing brevity.
He nods to the others and moves off 30 feet away. So like almost if he's off for reinforcements or something. Keenan, you're going to get a opportunity attack against him.
Yes.
Because he tried to do the breakout phase of it, he takes 8 fiery damage from them.
8.
Because he failed it.
Cool.
Yeah, just 8.
That's fine. That's... He looks pretty bloodied as well. Like you can see like there's blood coming out of his nose and
Yeah, I got a nat 20.
Oh no. You know the one that I restrained that we could... Oh no, it doesn't matter if he's dead. Fine. Go kill him.
Get him.
Get him. Sounds like Oddworld.
Sorry.
9.
To hit.
It's just a punch.
Oh no,
Yes.
you got
No,
you got nat 20.
Damage.
Even with the max damage as well.
Well, I just did the roll. Hold on, what was max damage? So D10. So 10
Yeah.
plus. Let me roll the D10. $11 plus 5, so 26.
Yeah, so as he's he's got these cuffs on, and as he starts like scurrying away, you sort of maybe just jump up a little bit and come down, punch him in the back of the head, and he just falls on the floor, and blood starts pouring from his like orifices, and he is indeed dead. We go to another trooper. That's trooper number 1. He's not so bloody, but you can see he's obviously been hit. Seeing what Keenan's just done, he will attack Keenan with a... No, he won't. No, he won't because he's stunned, actually. He can't do anything. So that's his go gone. Volta, you're up next.
So there's 3 left up here.
There are 3 left.
One stunned and 2 not stunned.
1 stunned, 2 not stunned. That's right.
Right.
Stunned,
I will
2
aim an
not
Eldritch Blast at one of the non-stunned ones.
Yep.
Which is a 26 to hit.
Does hit, yeah.
That'll do 27 damage.
Oof. Yeah. One of the other ones, so 27. I'll take it off the most wounded if you like, or you can go for the least wounded.
Most
The
least
least
wounded.
wounded. Yeah, go for the most wounded. Just take one.
27. Cool. He's looking very, very bad now.
Hit him again in the face with a 26 for 10 damage.
And how does that affect? How does that kill him? How does it do it?
My favourite Eldritch Blast. A little smack of force in the nudges.
Nice. And he sort of clutches at himself in the crotch and cross-eyed as he falls on the floor and takes his
Comedy
last
moment.
breath.
And then 2 remaining Eldritch Blasts at the other one.
Yep.
15 is a miss,
Is a miss.
and that one is also a miss.
So they just
So
go
he can breathe a sigh of relief.
go wide and yay.
And I will edge closer by 30 feet.
Sweet. Cool. We have another trooper going. No, we don't, because he's dead. Lily, you're up next.
So how many do we have left? One.
You've got 1 stunned and 1 not so badly beaten, sort of awaiting his turn.
How far is he from me?
You're invisible, and I think you went back to the original starting point, didn't you? So 50 feet away.
Okay. All right. So I do. So I just try to find the spell. So from my hand, there is a nice, like a dagger, going out towards him, and he needs to do a. Is it? So I need to do a ranged spell attack, and then he needs to do a dexterity check.
A dexterity check.
Okay, let me do the attack. 17, does it hit?
It does, only just, but it does hit.
Okay, so first of all, he gets 7 piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was your dexterity check?
Just a flat 12.
He misses it, so he gets also 11 cold damage. Because
11.
the icicle kind of burst
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
hit him. Does
Lovely.
he have any other within 5 feet of him?
The stunned one is within 5 feet of him. They're like quite close together.
So I think the stand gets it too.
Yeah. 11 points on him as well, yeah?
Yeah, cold damage.
That's fine. Sweet.
And I'm not invisible anymore.
No, that's fine. Cool. Okay. It is the initial one that you hit. He'll look to the other one, and again nod and start taking off. Keenan, you can have an opportunity attack against him.
$28.
Yes.
15 damage.
15 damage. So he's as he takes off, you punch him. It reduces him down by half of what he had. So I'm gonna say he sort of trips up maybe and falls over prone. And he's definitely bloodied. Bloodied face from all the punching. And then Keenan, it is indeed your go, and the other one is no longer stunned.
Okay. I will do the same again. 4 punchies. Oh no, that one.
Oh dear. You punch yourself.
It was a stunning strike.
You are now stunned.
28 on the second one.
Yep.
Another nat one.
Oh dear.
And a nat 20.
Oh, sweet.
Swings and roundabouts.
You might just kill him.
to get rid of that stupid auto roll. Oh, it did it, so. 19 on the crit
Mm-hmm.
damage, and that's rubbish. 6 on the regular punch.
How do you punch him to death?
Accidentally. I don't know, maybe I just get like the base of his, like the top of his spine by his neck, and it just cracks it a bit and just slumps down.
Over he goes. Cool. Anything
Yeah.
else on your turn?
Looking around to make sure no one else is definitely watching.
You can give a perception check if you like.
15.
15. Is Bumpsy still in the air, Corbs?
Yeah, no, he's sort of landed for the distraction, didn't he?
He's landed for the distraction. Cool. No, there isn't any hostile forces to be seen, but you can see from a sort of doorway, maybe what looks to be some survivors sort of peering out at what's going on in the plaza. Cool. Logan, you're up. You got one guy who's sort of tripped over as he tried to leave the scene.
How far is he now? Because I went 25 foot at the start.
Oh, he was only he didn't get very far from where Keenan was because he just left Keenan's threat range, so he's pretty much still in the entranceway of the barracks, so like around those barrels and that.
I'm gonna run, dive on him, rugby tackle type thing. Try restrain him. Grapple.
You don't need to rugby tackle him because he's already on the floor, but
Then I shall belly flop onto him.
Do it anyway.
get up, just so you can like tackle him back down again.
Yes. I don't really know what you need for that.
What do you want to do? Restrain him?
Just like literally go and dive on him to.
Well, give me an
Restrain him.
opposed strength check.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Sorry, pardon me.
7.
It's so disappointing when you just sneeze and it just never happens. 7, did you say?
Yeah.
I also rolled a 7, but they have a strength of +2.
Bollocks.
So you sort of try and grapple with him and he chucks you off. Volta, it is your go. If Logan's not going to do anything else.
I shall mentally, with my free action, command Bumpsy to take to the air again.
Okay.
Gives a bit of recon. And I shall... So, lad's on the floor with the guard.
That's
Lad,
right.
lad.
Yeah, he is indeed.
Damn it. And then in that case, I feel launch Eldritch Blasts, but with non-deadly force intentions. That's the last one.
Yeah, okay.
Number 1 is a 23 to hit,
That hits.
in a totally non-deadly way, which would be 9 damage.
He's very wounded.
Then I will launch another one at his face with a 26 to hit
Yes.
for 14 non-deadly damage.
14 takes him over the threshold. So it's hard to say magical damage. You can't really pull punches with. He would be dead.
Then in that case, I'm going to launch the other 2 into him in frustration
Okay.
for a 27 and a 21
Yeah.
to just totally pound him into jam.
Yeah. He is. It's like, his skull is crushed and bones are broken from just the force of the magical bolts.
It's like that bloke that Vinnie Jones got hold of at the end of Snatch.
Yes.
Or was it Lockstock? No, Lockstock, wasn't it? With the door.
I was thinking of Matey in Game of Thrones that fought the mountain as well. Where his head
Oh, we
crushed.
don't need to talk about that.
Why?
That was vile. The Viper in the Mountain episode.
Oh, guys, I did try not to kill him, but I killed him a little bit.
Well,
I had that a little.
you can drop out of initiative because you've done that combat. There's no threats in this area. Bumpsy's keeping an eye out for you and can keep confirming to you that you're perfectly safe at the moment. But you are where you need to be. So I'll let you decide what you want to do, and I will, of course, fill you in as you decide.
Do we need to speak to them, or should we go and speak to the survivors?
I mean, is there a limit on? If we need to, can you bring them back later?
I can bring them back later. Yeah.
I suggest we drag the 4 off, just out to the side, or not quite as obviously in the street.
Yeah,
And
does
then go
anybody
inside.
have a spoon for the last one?
You can do
I can-
prestidigitation. I can never say it. Prestidigitation, can't you?
Hey, you know I can, because I do actually have that spell. So
Yeah.
I totally did Diamond Band again.
Just clean things up.
Yeah.
Garvey.
Yeah, I'll do a bit of that then afterwards, after cleaning him up.
Ah.
You know, fill a couple of bin bags up and then... Let's go and talk to these prisoners then, shall we? I'm
Cool.
quite keen to see if some of them are anyone I know.
Well, yeah. So you go into the barracks, and it's, as you might expect, a barracks is sort of like a common area. There's weapon racks and such like that. You know, it's where the soldiers go to train and live effectively. And then sort of towards the back area of it, there's a staircase leading down. There's a great big sort of barred wooden door, and it's locked. Perhaps as you were moving the bodies, you would have found a key, which I'm sure you would have taken, and you can use that to unlock the door. And in here, it's pretty smelly. It's underground. It's all flagstone floors and that sort of thing. And there's 1 or 2 torches lighting the corridor. And as you're sort of marching through there, you do find a room, and on the door is a sign that reads, there is no home for spies in the Empire. And again, you got torches in the corridor. You sort of take the key and try the door, and if you open the door, there, slumped in the corner, is Harriet.
I would rush straight in.
You rush
and
straight
see if
in.
She's like awake or talking, or
Well,
how she react.
when you rush straight in, around her neck is some string, and hanging from it is her tongue and her sword hand.
I presume severed.
Yes, yeah. She sits in a pool of blood, but it's old. She's been here a while. She's very dirty, and she is barely breathing. But as you sort of rush over to her, she does stir, and she looks up at you. And she sort of gestures for you to help her up.
I do cure wounds to her.
If you entered and she knows what you are capable of, you can offer her healing.
Yes, I say to her, yeah, I can heal you. Is it okay?
She sort of just looks at you, and she shakes her head, and she just goes back looking at Logan, and just wants you to help her up.
I am going to slip off my ring of communications and offer it to Harriet so she can speak to us.
Oh,
Mm.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can pop it on her.
I'll
Oh, hang on.
like,
Attunement.
In that case, if you're going to be like that, is her tongue dead?
Is her tongue dead?
Yes, it's been cut off. Is it dead?
Yeah, it's been cut off. Oh, yeah, it's not fresh.
Then I'm going to raise her tongue from the dead so she can speak to us.
Fucking hell. Can you do that?
I can.
It just says any random body part. It's fine.
I
To
can
raise.
do.
I mean, that makes
It's
sense so it can
interesting.
speak, can't it?
I can.
DM's rule. I'm not bothered if you say no.
No, I'm just waiting to see what Lily has to say as well a moment.
Oh, sorry, I can do. What is the spell? Sorry, my brain is totally blank.
That's all right.
Regenerate.
Yeah, if you have it.
Let me see.
What to say about that?
It's like that meme
So
where it's like,
I
you have
can.
my.
I said to her, I can rest, and tomorrow I can give you your tongue back.
Okay, so that's one option. And what was Volta's option? You can.
I have an option too.
Oh, right, go on.
Uh,
I would like to help her up
can-
while this is all going on.
I can
Sorry,
ask.
hang on. What
I
did you
could
say,
help.
Logan?
I'll just be like helping her up whilst all this is being kind of decided and
Right. Well, if you help her up, she embraces
dies.
you. She embraces you, and you feel her unsheath
We've only just re-met.
the knife that was on your belt. This is the bit that I asked you about. And she sort of pulls back, and you see her just draw it across her wrist, and then she slumps back onto you as blood starts pouring out of her wrist.
Lily!
And
I do cure wounds.
well,
I cure her.
as you go to cast cure wounds, Logan needs to make a D20 roll, please.
No, I don't want to.
I
Wait,
refuse.
can I use my inspiration?
You don't have inspiration.
Yeah, I do. I've had it for forever.
It expires after so long.
Since when?
I think it only lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, not with inspiration then.
I'll get rid of mine.
A 10.
And Lily, you cast cure wounds on her, and all of the signs of any abuse from before, like where she'd been beaten or whatever, goes, and the wound on her wrist heals, and she just looks at you, and you just see like this agony in her eyes, just crying.
I
Logan
say
would
to
go up
her,
and be like, not yet, not like this.
I say to her, it's not right for you to die like that. We are here to help you. Just let us help you.
And she just slumps herself back down in the corner.
And I kind
Yeah.
of go near her and sit with her and say, I'm sorry what happened to you, but we really want to help you.
So Wolfer and Keenan both had ideas. So Wolfer, you wanted to raise her tongue from the dead.
Well, unless Keenan's got a better idea, I'm quite willing to listen to Keenan's idea first. It might be a little bit less gruesome.
I can't find the exact details, but there was something with the key of Pelor that I could touch someone and do some big old Healy stuff.
Yeah, it's in Discord.
Discord.
Where is your channel?
Damn.
Where is it? Is it that one?
I think there's something wrong with this private channel for me. Because there's only like 3 messages in it, and one of them's from Bane. Oh, here we go. You can summon Pelor.
Oh no, that's not it. Is it?
Once per week.
Is it something we added later?
Oh yeah, there we go. Once per week, as a champion, you can spread light and vitality to those who may not have had it.
Yeah.
So a blighted land could be healed, or a wounded soldier could be restored.
Yeah, you could do that.
So could I like possibly not reattach, but maybe regrow her tongue?
Yeah, restore.
Well, you go over to her, and the key, you place your hand on her shoulder, perhaps, and the key begins to glow as you will it to restore her. This almost like your entire body begins to glow with this radiance, and the things hanging around her neck seem to disappear. She begins to glow, almost like a doctor regenerating. And as the light fades, her hand is restored, and her tongue is also restored.
Logan's gonna like really roughly, as if he's gonna like bar style rough, like just grip Kanan by like the scruff of his neck, like his tunic or whatever, and like drag him over and just put like all three of them in this like massive hug embrace kind of thing, like a big bear hug.
And she
Yo.
hugs you, but then she sort of recoils against why. All I've seen, I just wanted it to end.
Because without you, others would have to see it too.
It's over. We've
Not yet.
lost.
It's never over.
Well, there is no hope anymore.
I hear no fat lady singing, so it is not over.
Walther speaks wise words. We are here.
Well, for your kids are nearby.
You what, sorry?
Your kids are nearby.
Oh, good. I shall go and find them.
They were brought here because of association with me. I rescued them, but because of the value of me as a prize, they were taken as well, rather than shipped off to God knows where.
I'm just going to go off and hunt for them.
Yeah, I mean, you burst through different doors and whatever else, and eventually you find them, and they're in a room with light. And they, by all accounts, they look to be like they've been well looked after. You know, they got food. There's books and such to entertain them with. They haven't been mistreated.
And I will spend some time catching up with them in a tiny hut. So
Cool.
nobody else can get in and hear anything. Yabu sucks to you.
So that is Walter for the next 8 hours.
I don't have to stay in the tiny hut for 8 hours.
No, you don't.
Just,
That
I'm in
is
a
true.
tiny hut, you know.
That is true. As for the you
I'm
three,
Mm-hmm.
you're with
Oh.
Lily. You are with Lily, but Harriet.
Can you? I know you've been through a lot, but we have a big gap in our memories, and we've no recollection of the last 6 months. What even happened?
Yes, I will fill you in on as much as I can. Thank you for restoring me, and Lily, I'm sorry I turned down your healing to begin with, but you have to understand you saw I was ready to. I didn't want to be here anymore.
There is no reason to apologize. I'm glad we have you back. That's why I tried to stop you doing anything. Harm to yourself.
I appreciated when you said if you could wait another day, but I've been here for too long, and to see Logan was enough for me. I was content. But thank you.
For as long as I draw breath, we will always come for you.
Thank you to all of you for coming. What happened? Well, you all went. I had to get rid of that sword, and weeks and weeks and weeks passed by. And eventually, your airship returned, but you weren't on it. And I wasn't happy with that, so I took my own ship and went looking for you. And I found you in the desert. All of you just unconscious. Nobody knows how you got there or why. So we brought you here. I took you to one of the safe houses, and that's not long after when the Order of the Golden Dragon arrived. And they warned us and told us that they'd been in conflict with the Empire, covering your escape from whatever the name of that planet was that you were on, out there. And they were afraid that they'd been tracked, and their fears very quickly came to realization as the Empire made their way here. And they wiped their way through Castle View as if it was a hot knife through butter. All of our forces were destroyed in one. And it wasn't a battle that lasted days or weeks. It was hours, and that was it. And they didn't stop here. Many reports came through my networks. They took Carnlodir. They took, well, everywhere. It's gone. There may be small outlying villages which they haven't bothered with, but the majority of the major settlements are gone. The dwarves, King Razanog was offered an ultimatum when they were beaten to submission. There are many dwarves apparently in this empire, and they were offered a place with them. There are no, as far as we know, living dwarfs left on Veibaba. They are all gone, taken into the empire. And the elves were rounded up. What do they call them? The children of Melnoris, or something like that. Those old enough to have been here when he first had power on this world, before he left to form this empire, apparently. They were slaughtered. The heads put on spikes.
Jesus.
Nobody got out, really. And those who were taken prisoner, if they didn't end up here for rebelling against, they were put into these camps where they were processed and folded into the empire. Whether they return to this world or whether they're taken somewhere else, I couldn't say. That's when they started bringing you may remember from the scouts reports, Lanzalos was being rebuilt by slaves at the whips of demonic masters. Well, when they got to Lanzalos, something changed there. Their troops started bringing slaves down here south to the camps, and I kept an eye out, and I kept asking, and I found Volta's kids, and I rescued them, but they found me, and they took us all. And obviously, being in my position in my organisation, they did what they did to me, as you saw. And that's where we get to. I've been here ever since. They've, apart from the initial mistreatment, not treated me too horrendously. They've fed me and watered.
Well, that's a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm.
I think, from what I knew before I was taken, Malnoris had taken up residence in Elantalos. So, if we're going to bring an end to this empire, that's where we have to go. But how? He's a god, effectively.
If he can destroy every force in this land, what chance do we really stand?
What happened to you? You were gone for so long, and then you were out, unconscious, again for so long. What happened?
We succeeded in our mission. Then there's not much I can tell you after that. It's just suddenly woke up in the safe house that you mentioned.
And the sword is gone?
I think so. The sword's gone, right? Did we destroy it?
Kellenvor took it from me.
Ah, yes. Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor. Well, I suppose that's something. The sword is gone. But what of
Harriet?
Narfiliac? He must have a part to play in all of this.
He... Can't remember.
I
Is he
literally
still-
recapped it at the start.
I know.
The big fight you had, you might have vanquished
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did we? Is he not? He's not in Pelor's realm anymore.
No,
He's
you killed him.
full on deaded.
He's deaded.
Okay. Well, we can't use him.
You spoke with him in that sort of dreamy place because Kellenvord granted him, that peace and allowed you to speak to him.
Oh yeah, he was all chill at the end.
Yeah.
Dudes, thanks for releasing me, man. Yeah. Well, we can't rely on the enemy of my enemy for this battle. I don't think.
But
And if you say he's taken everything, then we've not really got any allies.
if you stop Narfiliac, then surely you can stop Malnoris. They are one and the same.
Well,
To be honest,
can always try.
yeah, if there's not much more that this land can lose. If we don't try, then sooner or later they're going to find us.
At this point, I'm going to pop my head out of the tiny hut. Obviously, as I've said in the chat channel to you, Mike was listening in on the conversation, so I'm up to speed with stuff.
Oh, was that
yes,
on
I was.
Discord?
Yes, that's what it is. Excuse me interrupt things, but I am grateful that you rescued my children. Where is my wife?
Harriet just looks at you. Just staring you in the eye, and I wouldn't say you were the kids here.
Was there in the tiny hut? Don't worry, I just poked my head out.
Your wife was one of those who was not particularly of Malnoris's favourites, I'm afraid.
Oh. And she got sent to Bridlington for a brief holiday?
I'm hopeful that she, wherever she is now, is at peace.
Then you'll see Xenanaton's head overlay Voltus. Then they shall all burn. They have taken everything from my servant. I will take everything from them.
I will stand by you while you do so.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson pops into view, and he is now on guard of the children. And Volta's going to go and kill some stuff.
She says to Volta, though, as well, I am sorry, Volta.
Harriet, you've been through more than we could ever know. But will you try again and fight with us?
I will go with you to Atlantalos. Or would you rather I took the kids and maybe headed into the wilderness, see if we can hide away until you return?
This could certainly be a good idea. They need protection, and you've been through enough. If Walter agrees.
Yes, I will send Vane with them.
And take this, and he'll hand her the vibro blade that he had from the ship.
Cool. Can
So she got something.
Can Dwayne be apart from you like a great distance for any length of time, or does he?
Yeah, it's just a general summoning. He could pop in and out of his little pocket dimension.
Okay. Yeah, well, she'll do that. I suppose if you took some time to consolidate, get a plan in place, and she'd probably just tell you she'll take the kids south. Remembering her background is she's a rogue ranger, so she's quite adept at life in the wilds, and she'll let you say your goodbyes and take the kids and disappear. I don't know if you wanted to give her one of the communication rings just in case, so you can speak to her. She'd probably suggest, if you have a method of doing so, that it would be a good idea.
It may work.
Yeah,
Sure.
she can have mine.
Cool. Okay. Well, what's the plan now?
There is
How
no
far?
plan.
Re-
I burn
vengeance.
things.
Yeah. How far from Elantelos are we?
You're in Castle View, in the middle of the mainland.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lantos is across the sea, and you're still across countryside to get north. One thing I have almost overlooked, Keenan, in this time that you're in the dungeon, you feel compelled, like you're drawn. And as you're sort of all clearing the dungeon, letting out various people, you come across some of Lord Taylor's knights, members of the Black Hand as well. They've been captured. There's one or two Dragonborn down here. But what you come across in one of the rooms, Keenan, you sort of feel very compelled to it, is a priest of Pelor. And with him, he has a staff. And that staff, if you're all in there or Keenan's just in there, it's up to you. You would recognize this is the same staff that Keenan was holding in the various visions you had, where you saw Keenan hovering above the world, where the light from somewhere hits it, and he uses it as a weapon to end all things on Veibaba. But you feel very compelled and drawn towards it. Now, of course, that was a vision of the future. If you choose not to take it, that vision, that future would never happen.
Isn't it?
And my first reaction on seeing it would be to be scared and to not, and to say, don't let that thing near me. That's, what is that?
Looking back where it came from. Also help me.
What is it? Where did it come from? Where did it go?
The most recent vision of it you had was when you were all in that kind of weird place during the trials, and you saw that vision of the future, and everyone saw it. It wasn't just a vision that you saw, it was a vision everyone saw. Whereas previously, as I said, it had only been a vision given to you.
Well, I'll say to the priest guy, who are you? Why do you have this?
And he doesn't respond because, as I explained to begin with, he was dead.
Oh. Who are you? Talk to me.
You're shaking him violently, his head just like rolls off.
What the?
Yes,
Thing.
I still do my thing.
You do your
If it
thing.
will help.
Um,
Yes, I will raise him up in an Irish pop cult kind of way.
this this time, unlike previously when you've risen people, because he is a priest of Pelor, it's actually more of like the room almost gets bathed in light, and everyone can kind of experience this. And you all see this figure, much like when Pelor's appeared to you. This figure, sort of bathed in light, appears, and it is the spirit, of course, of this priest. And he looks at you all. He looks down at himself, and he just says, "Oh dear. I thought I was spending a long time with his lord. I thought I was just dreaming, but clearly not."
Sorry, sir.
It's okay. I'm very happy to be with Pelor.
Good. I have a couple of questions, if I may.
Yes, certainly.
This staff that you have with you, is it of special importance?
Oh, this is an ancient relic from the early days.
Get your butt out of the camera.
Cat's greasy butthole. It's a relic of special importance. It's from the old days, from the beginning times. Some magical properties about it, I believe, but it's generally used in the temple to try and communicate with Pelor. As the light shines through it in a certain way, it enables us to channel certain divine energies.
So it's some sort of conduit device to
Yes, I would say so.
focus it.
Yes,
Interesting.
it certainly does focus energies, yes.
Has it been known to be dangerous?
Oh, no. It's not dangerous. It's a way of communicating with higher powers.
Sort of tentatively pick it up.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not
Turn
like it does
over.
anything to you or anything. It's not like the nasty sword that Grift picked up right at the beginning.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be unfortunate.
It would be. No,
Right.
it's fine. You just feel. I mean, you don't really feel much different than you normally do because you are a champion of Pelor. You've got his key. You feel a radiance about it. It fills you with warmth, but it doesn't do anything more than that to you.
Okay. I say to the priest, you've spent some time with Pelor now. Is there anything you've discussed about what he hopes of this world? Anything that he needs his champion to do?
He has been very busy. There have been a lot of people who have passed through Kalimvor and found their way into his golden halls. I suppose, as a spokesperson for him, as I have not really directly spoken to him about it, justice must be done for the people.
Yes, I thought as much.
There are still survivors on this world. I think it's owed as much to them as possible to rid the world of this infestation.
I turn to the rest of the group. I say, I know you've seen a vision of me doing something unspeakable with this, but if it is truly a device of great power for the forces of good, then I'm going to do my best to wield it.
Don't forget, the other part of that vision was that, as you say, it's done something terrible. The world was overrun with demons and devils and such.
Baddies.
Yeah, it was completely lost.
Yeah.
So what you were doing wasn't terrible. There probably wasn't anyone left to save anyway. But yeah, I mean, if that's the way Keenan feels about it, then that's absolutely fine. I mean, Keenan probably would think he's doing something unspeakable in those visions.
Yeah. But I'll do my best.
Keenan, do you need anything more of this priest?
I don't think he could probably lay him to rest again.
His advice will not be useful later.
Not forgetting
like-
that with the key, you can communicate with Pelor.
Direct. Yeah.
Yeah. And each of you can communicate with your respective demigods, gods, through your keys.
Just in case, and I'm going to wrench the priest's head off and put it in a bag so we can carry it.
Oh, God! Do you end the spell before you do that, or does he watch?
No.
Oh, my God.
He looks puzzled at you, but there's not much he can do.
We're taking you with us. I can't be bothered to carry your whole body. The bowling ball will have to suffice.
With that, the light in the room fades. Cool. Well, the only other part really was to say what do you want to do? Did you want to look about and see? Well, I mean, with Bumpsy, you would know the airship is here, it's damaged, and it's not flying. It's kind of just outside the city, resting on the ground, along with several other airships. If you wanted to take that north, you certainly could.
Please, that's probably the best bet.
I think so. Let's hotwire an airship.
We don't want to bother the survivors to anyone to take up arms. We just get them killed, probably, wouldn't
You could inspire a rebellion if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. I mean, we are pretty much at the end of this episode, really. It set the scene for the finale. Yeah, I mean, it's just a case of what do you want to do with... That's your two avenues, really. Do you inspire some kind of rebellion with the survivors, or do you want to just take the airship and go? I mean, either way, it will be resolved in the finale now, really. Whichever course of action you take.
What I do know is I'm going to also take a bowling ball from the guards, so I can question them if we need to know the habits of the people we're trying to sneak up
Yeah,
on.
I mean, you can do that now if you like to.
I am
Yeah.
thinking his head, yes.
Yeah.
I think, like
I feel like you
anyone,
need a bag of holding just for heads.
bag of heading,
Hey,
maybe not.
not that one, Dan.
Yeah.
Well, it's football
Anyone-
coach, bag of footballs, but yeah.
Stop me if you have other ideas, but would it make sense to any fighters that are in this jail, any of the Dragonborn, we get them on board the ship to take with us? And
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll
yeah.
probably need
Anyone
someone
else?
to help us man the ship as well as.
You've got there were several of Lord Taylor's knights, those that were loyal, who obviously carried on then serving Harriet and the Dwarven Lord who was in temporary holding. Yeah, I mean, and you've got the Dragonborn. There's also, like I said, members of the Black Hand, the criminal organisation that you initially came across here.
Yeah.
And if talking to them, they will sort of explain to you. They know they're beaten. They're not going to cause you problems, but they tried to bargain with the aggressors. Trying to make deals, whatever, offering them money, that sort of thing. And it all went tits up for them, and they were thrown into the prison as criminals.
We'll gather as much as we can with regards to people, rations, and any sort of defensive or weaponry we can realistically take, and have kind of. Well, obviously you make the choice, but as much of a full offensive as possible ready on the ship for next session.
Yeah. I'll. I mean,
Send someone with Harriet if she wants a bit of an escort.
I think she was trying to go under the radar, so it's up to you if you want to send people to go and find her or go with her. But I think she was quite keen to.
Well, she's got the ring as well, so we can always commune with her after it.
Yeah.
She'll have been attuned to that before we've got to Lantalos, so.
Should we tell the civilians to gather en masse at Khan Lodia or something?
You can certainly take a bit of time using information gathered from the dead guards on patrols and such, and using Bumpsy, you can avoid as much of it as possible, if not all of it. And yeah, you can find pockets of people. You know that you saw one group as you went into the thingy, so you could sort of maybe go to them.
Yeah.
Try to get word out there that
Get them to spread the word. Yeah.
The time's coming to stand up and fight or flee or whatever.
Yeah.
Whichever you decide.
Okay.
Is there a building that would be seen as a bastion of hope, people?
Well, the temple's
People might be
still
drawn to.
standing.
I
And
shall have a trot across the temple and cast magic mouth on the temple door, telling them where to go.
Ooh.
okay. I mean, it takes some time. So all of this is going to take some time. So it's going to be a good few days of, avoiding patrols, finding people, and encouraging them in one way or the other. If you've sent various people, like the knights, to the ship to make it ready, or just hang out there until you're ready to go. Let's have a percentage roll, somebody.
Lily loves the random rolls.
Yeah.
That's around the rolls.
I saw her face light up then.
21.
21. So of all
Likelihood
your...
of surviving.
Eh?
That's the likelihood of us surviving.
No.
21.
Of all your efforts, people are just afraid. And what would be the instruction on this temple door, telling them where to go?
It would only be to non-imperial troops. That would be the activation clause.
Yeah.
and it would just tell them to head to whatever rendezvous point we'd agreed for safety.
Okay. So what, you might want to send them out of the city to try and hide away from...
Yeah, get to one of the little villages, maybe the Swamp Elves village or something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere out of the way.
Well, 21% of them do. The rest are either too afraid or not been reached.
21% is better than 0.
21% is
Yeah.
better than 0. So
There's only one magic mouth.
You've got as many out as what are willing to go and what you can. But I will say, unless there's anything else, we will end it there for the penultimate episode. And we'll pick up with your trip north in the finale.
Ooh.
Nice.
So anyone watching, whether it's live now on YouTube or if you're a podcast listener, we are going to be taking a bit of a rest now, a short rest, whilst we sort out logistics of how we're going to do the final episode, because we were discussing whether we're going to do it online or in person. So give us a while. Well, I'll say a while. We'll try and do it as quickly as possible to not have a huge gap like we did at Christmas. But yeah, we'll see what we can do to figure out that, and we'll come back to you all via Facebook and let you know what's going on. If we do it live, it probably won't be streamed. It will be recorded and then put onto YouTube and obviously podcast. But yeah, that's all for tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much all for playing and watching, listening, of course. Sorry it's been such a long break over Christmas and that, but here we are. And hopefully we'll be back with you in the not too distant future to wrap up V Baba, which is a little bit emotional because how long it's been.
What's it been, like 4 years?
Something like 4 years, going on 5, I think, this year.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
It's been a long slog. And I know for like people, again, watching on YouTube or podcast, it's only, this is episode 42. And you might think, well, how's that been so many years? Well, there was the whole other half of this campaign that we never streamed or recorded or anything. We just played it for our own fun. So, unless you guys want to say anything, we'll sign out.
Yeah. See you
Pretty
next
much it. We're
Yeah.
going to talk logistics.
Let's talk logistics. All right then, guys. Well, thanks very much, and thank you all, audience. Au revoir. Good evening.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Boo.